Radharani pranam to everybody. Trying to see that there. Okay. Okay, it says in Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidhi pranipatyana pariprashnena sevaya padikshanti gyanam gyanina statvadarsanam. In order to achieve the truth, one should be submissive, inquiry, and pranipat pariprashna sevaya, surrender, submissive, and service. So what is the meaning of this verse? Who can say that?
Actually, today we had a topic about submissive quality. I'm on a trip to Portugal with Chintamani Devitasi, and we were speaking about Madhusudan Maharaj, discussing qualities of devotees, that's never, but also very necessary to have submission. It's like to not to be stuck.
Okay, that's very good. Well, one thing I can tell you, if anything, any projects you do, it has to be submission. Also means inner communication and desire to cooperate. See, because when you are coming to association of devotees, and devotees have some enthusiasm, they want to do things, but it has to be a desire to cooperate, means I'm willing to do what needed, and communications. Because without these two things, very difficult to understand what is submission. So that's why the opposite of communication is to criticize each other. So sometimes we are in our life, we're looking for one person who's guilty in all our problems. But actually, pointing one finger and somebody else and pointing three fingers ourselves. So, we're the cause of our own troubles, which is sometimes very difficult to understand because we're looking for some external problem. At least I do. And externally we think, well, this person is this person is that. So we are critical, but submissions means self-criticism, which is a great way to resolve the problems. Because once we are looking for somebody who's guilty, we can fire somebody or remove somebody, but the problem will not be resolved, because the problem is, even if somebody is not doing something right, the ideal and idea is to learn how to do something right. So all these things require us critical 100% rethinking our position. And what is the service? Service is something that we're doing, but service is the activity that has different qualities, different definitions. It could be sakama, nishkama, it could be with certain desire. We're not like pure devotees. In the beginning, there might be some ego motivation, oh, I like to do something. But eventually, as our heart will purify, just like a gold, there's different level of gold. So some external things looking like gold, but they're not gold. But then we know there's 12 karat gold, 14 karat gold, and then pure gold. So the pure gold is something which is not has any, surrogate inside.
Dandavats Maharaj.
Dandavats. So please tell us something.
Well, you were asking what is service. I mean, what I can think of is that. Oh, video. Okay. What is service? I mean, someone you love, they have certain desires and plans, and you help with fulfilling those desires and plans. Okay. I don't know, that may be some kind of service to fulfill their desires.
Right, but we're also speaking about definition. Is that like, maybe I do it, I'm sorry, or hey, I'm willing to do it, or yeah, I really wanted to do it, but you have to really thank me for it. So there are different moods and motivations for any kind of activities. Some of them driven by ego, some of them driven by, okay, I don't really want to do that, but if you really want it, I mean, they're like, what kind of service? What the Pavel think, Pavel?
Well, roughly, I would say that service is something that requires putting your own egotistical or personal interest on the level lower than the level of interest of the subject that you're serving to.
Yes.
So I would say very, let's say, crooked description, but that's what I can think of for now.
Well, that's what the Hegel said. You follow
Okay.
exactly what the Hegel
He
said.
was smart.
He was also German. He said, love is to offer your own interests, to sacrifice your interests, to sacrifice of beloved, and through the sacrifice, discover your true self. So
Wow.
means love, or like when we say loving devotional service, we're not saying like service, like, okay, you know, a guy going to factory, he's doing some service as a security, or a minister doing some service, you know, taking bribes, or, you know, soldier doing some service, have to go kill somebody, but he's not really happy to do that, but that is his service, his duty. So Rupa Goswami said, Anubulyashata shunyam yana karmadya anavritam. Anukulyana Krishna anushilnama bhakti rutama. So bhakti means jnana karmadya anavritam, something without expecting result, without intellectual endeavor. You know, I'm a smart ass, and that's why I'm like doing these things, and I do this because of this. So it has to be naturally come out of flow of heart, and that is the called service. So, but let's talk about what is inquiry. Paranipat pariprashna sevaya. Inquiry. How do you supposed to inquire? What do you think, Pavel? What is like a real inquiry?
You see, I will continue in the line of my thinking. So when we're speaking about the doctor, for example, we can say about someone, his job is a doctor. And when we're speaking about the level much higher than that, we say he served as a doctor. So I think we can speak the same way about the soldiers. We can speak the same way about the school teachers, or I don't know, engineers, or even security guards at the gate of the factory. So one of them would be employed as, and another one would be serving as such. I hope you understand what I mean. I mean, service is something that has a much higher level of dedication to what you do. Well, I don't know at what point I've been lost.
Well, I mean, you didn't lost. You actually gave very, very important value of the service, because when we're looking for service between activity, which is called karma, you know, service is not karma. That's interesting, right?
I would say so, yeah.
Right. And now let's talk about what is spiritual devotional service. Because to serve military or to serve humanity, it's a very high level position in society due to nature of your activity. But what is the service of God? What is the service of Krishna? And is there anything higher than that?
I don't think so. Because by all means, if you're working or serving as a doctor, priest, or whoever else, I don't know, security guard, once again, one way or another, you have some kind of a mundane reward for that. Some, you know, food, ammunition, I don't know, salary, Nobel Prize, whatever. But when we're talking about serving to Krishna, you are not expecting anything in reward, anything. That's so far as far as I understand as of this moment of my life.
Right, but still Krishna provide you food, still Krishna provide air for you to breathe, right?
Oh, sure, yes, of course.
And even if you don't serve Krishna, he still provides. It's
He still
interesting, right?
provide. But the thing is that the air, the food, the water, the heat, and everything else that is provided by Krishna, automatically by default you are using you're treating not as a reward from him, but yet as another set of tools to continue your service. So it's reinvestment. I mean, it's like ongoing thing. You are not saying, oh yes, I've been serving so good that I'm having so much. No, so much is not applicable.
Yes. So by definition of service, we can understand it is not just material karma. It is not just material activity. In other words, if you're doing any service under material motivation, that's not really service.
It's
That's
employment.
one another form of exploitation of God, which is horrible because we're exploiting each other in material world for money or for position or for this. And now suddenly we discover there's God. God exists. Let's try to exploit God. God can give me what I want.
It's like
if I can just manipulate God and get from God blessings or things that I want, it's very good. Now I believe in God and I know why God is so valuable. But when we're talking about service, by definition, we're speaking about some loving devotional service. So word loving devotional service is adding to word service with two motivations, love and devotion. So let's talk about what love and what is devotion. Pavel?
Whoa. You're giving me a hard time, Maharaj, but I truly appreciate that. It makes me thinking. I just came from our Veselny Dham, from our Firefly Club.
Yes.
So I'm a little bit warmed up and wound up. Let me think for a moment and I'll get back, okay?
Okay. Right. So I will continue, go to this perception because see, we talk about things like service, inquiry, dedication, but what does it really mean? We can understand from two things. Number is philosophical perception of those, realities, or from the stories where we can see the stories illustrate for us very well what is this. So let's talk about Brahman Sudama, who was a Krishna friend. He was Krishna's child, mate, and when he came back to his Sudamapur, his village, he married as supposed to at that time, and he had a family life, but he would continue Brahminical life, which means Brahminical life means not to get paid by some kind of a trade or some kind of a material duty. Although in Shiva Purana, they're described that Brahmana out of necessity can take a job of a sale or administrator or even a cultivator, which means Vaishya, or even become a Shudra. He's called Shudra Brahmana, Vaishya Brahmana, Kshatriya Brahmana. But in pure original idea, Brahmana is not a guy who function as on material level. So he continued doing his spiritual study, his spiritual sacrifices, but there was not so much demand for that. So in other words, whatever he would do, it was not so much appreciated by local people, because local people, they would donate very little, or maybe they were not so much materially advanced at that time. And his wife also told him, you should go to Krishna and ask Krishna, because normally the Brahmanas, like scientists, they live by grant, so the king would grant them something, land, cows, and because the king knows if more Brahmanas live in my land, if I grant them riches, they will do sacrifices, they will do spiritual things, more spiritual people in my kingdom will be more auspicious. That's normal Vedic thinking for the king. But the Brahman Sudama thought, I cannot just go ask my friend Krishna some riches, or I cannot come to him and say, oh, you know what, I have very poor, life, my family need some resources. But his wife also pushing him to go to see Krishna. And finally, when he agreed to, He said, I cannot go to my friend without gift. So all these wonderful stories about great devotees illustrating us what is the mood of pure devotee, why pure devotee is not inquiring anything from God, from Krishna, and what is his motivation. He's not motivated by mundane things. So, Pavel, are you ready to speak? Not yet. So, love, devotion. Devotion means, according Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you believe that everything you do for Krishna, your service for Krishna, that would fulfill your life goal and any other obligations of your life, that is considered to be faith. So without faith, there is no devotion. Devotion is something that actually grow in our spiritual life. And what Guru Maharaj used to say, in your culture, first you get married, first you get love, then you get married, then you divorce. He said, in our Indian tradition, first you get married. I mean, you may like the girl, but the thing is, first you get married, then you spend some time, your life, your serving life, and then by end of it, you feel substantial love. So love to each other, not lust, not physical attraction, not desire to enjoy together and build a little world around you. No, the real love, according to Indian idea, comes by end of the marriage, not at the beginning of the marriage. So we understand that love that Guru Maharaj is talking about, it's not something based on mundane, because there's mundane love, physical love, based on attraction, enjoyment, ideas, fulfillment, but more definition of love, something deeper, it comes by service and experience. So we may have little attraction to Krishna by Krishna's mercy, but real devotion and love to Krishna, it's result of Krishna's mercy. It's not something we can just start from. Oh, I'm doing this because I love Krishna. I don't really know who Krishna is. So what is the higher than service of Krishna? You said, what can be higher? I can tell you, it's very obvious in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. The service of Krishna, what is higher than service of Krishna? It's something that Krishna likes to serve. And we know Krishna likes to serve by definition Radharani, and Krishna likes to serve his pure devotees. So Krishna has inconceivable joy from service. It's not just we enjoying service of Krishna. It's actually, we don't even know what enjoyment is and what is sweetness service of Krishna, because Krishna is very sweet. So when we connect with something beautiful, something that we love, we have inconceivable pleasure. But when that person is Krishna, it's become a whole different story. So service of devotee and service of Radharani is something which is considered to be very, very high. So Krishna, he extremely excited when Radharani to be served. And in this case, he's giving so much blessings. And Radharani, she's very humble, she's very selfless. She say, I don't need service, you serve Krishna, please, you serve Krishna, please. So she has her own group of servants that serve her. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Dasa Dasa Nadasam. Means like, I want to become servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. Then this position is real. Because we cannot directly serve Krishna, we cannot directly serve Radharani, we cannot directly serve those plain, but we can serve Gurudev and devotees. Just like you went to Kiselni, you've done some service, and through that service, which you did not expect anything except serve, you've got some enthusiasm. So you see, Krishna is remunerate us by enthusiasm. And that's where we really need to understand. If I lost enthusiasm in my spiritual life, that means my service may not be the quality that need to be done, or it's not enough, or it's not pure, Because service is something by definition supposed to bring us inner satisfaction. And we can only see inner satisfaction, we can see results of our service. See, sometimes we can serve deity, we can cook nicely, and we can feel, oh, deity is very happy, but that's for like high-level devotee. And generally, when we come to devotees and they're happy to see us, oh, how are you? Very happy. Oh, are you coming to cook? Oh, wonderful, you brought flowers, we need flowers. When you really connect with devotees and devotees happy to see you and you happy to see devotees, that's immediately an indication of happiness in devotional service. Therefore, what we can say is serving devotees and doing devotional service in association with devotees is the most practical and real thing. Because the serving Guru and serving Krishna is very abstract sometimes. Because Guru may be in spiritual world, and Krishna might be also in spiritual world, or maybe Krishna present as a form of deity, but we don't have that divine vision to understand deity is happy. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it says deity can walk, deity can talk, and that's true. But deity is not talking to everyone. Deity is not walking in front of everyone. Deity only does this in order to fulfill his pure devotee. Deity has no interest to prove you I exist. God knows he's exist. Krishna knows his own existence. And we can understand that devotee who fully dedicates himself to Krishna, he's living by will of Krishna, not by will of karma. But that is another way. If we all have karma, and karma can be, you've done something in previous life, therefore something coming to you. But whoever dedicates himself fully and solely to Krishna, Krishna specifically taking care of that devotee. And of course, we have some unique devotees in our mission. And, somebody like Krishna Kanta, Munindra, Madhusudan Maharaj, they're very, very special souls. And they're attracting some other special souls, as we can see. Why they do that? Because they have very pure intention of their service. They are very clean and clear what they want to do, how they want to do. And, that's kind of ideal case, ideal case. We may not be on that same level because we're, it's not about like, oh, we're Russians. No, it's just like we are maybe new people. Number one. Number two, we're learning. Number three, we haven't had so much experience to be with Guru, like Madhusudan Maharaj lived many, many years with Guru in holy place, and he's a very pure person. So maybe we're not like that. As you can understand, not all devotees the same. So you should not be jealous, oh, this devotee is like this or this devotee like that. No, what you do is you respect that devotee, you love that devotee, and mercy of that devotee will come to you. Because, we're all starting our spiritual life. And starting spiritual life means eventually we're going to get to a level where we are at. Like everybody has its own level. So if you try to jump over the head of your level, it's not going to be dedicated. Let's say some devotees like Bhakti Lalita, they have a particular way of life. Or somebody like Madhusudan Maharaj, he's got a particular way of life and spiritual standard. I remember we were walking about Govardhan Hill, and with a group of devotees, and there's some road very close to Govardhan Hill, almost like you're almost going on Govardhan Hill. And Madhusudan Maharaj, he immediately took his shoes and went out. He didn't want to go that road. But I was carrying the group, and I want people to go that side, because that side is, you can see Govardhan very close, very special places, and very beautiful places. But it's almost like going on Govardhan Hill, which we don't do. It's not like exactly, but there's too much risk. And I can see Madhusudan Maharaj immediately, he took off. And I thought, well, his appreciation of Govardhan Hill is so high that he doesn't want to step possibility and make an offense. But these new people that coming with me, they're not so much advanced. So Krishna will not take their advance. So by their mercy of Krishna and protection, I will walk that road to show them Govardhan Hill very nicely, very closely. But actually, I know in ideal case, you really want to go a little bit more distant. But as more distant you go, it's a different experience. But you can see it thinking of pure Vaishnava. If pure Vaishnava see there's possibility of commit offense, he's tried to, stay a little bit on distance, which tells actually that, he has some faith and appreciation. But somebody new, he can be a little bit more familiar and Krishna will forgive him because he's not really have that level of faith. And, Krishna is very merciful. Therefore, when you see some pure Vaishnava behavior, sometimes it appears to be a little strange because, like, for instance, we're happy to hear any mantra, any music, anything connect with Krishna. But the pure Vaishnava can only hear something pure. Do you understand? Like, we can say, there's people chanting Hare Krishna, we're so happy, we're also chanting Hare Krishna. But pure Vaishnava may not like that because he say, that is not the same chanting that I heard from my guru, or that is not the same mood of chanting. Because he has some deeper understanding of Krishna consciousness, he has some higher taste. So he understands the difference between good art and bad art. Like Pavel, he's a stage director. He has very clear things. If you invite him to bad performance, he may feel very uncomfortable. Because he say, it's a crappy stuff. It's very, it's everything been stolen from somebody else, but it's done such a bad style that even they could not feel it. So then he may not feel that inner feeling. Maybe he will not tell this directly to people. Maybe he'll say, you should try to do something, but he will not be happy. But if he sees something unique art, the art he can appreciate, he can say, yes, this guy is amazing. So same as devotee. If he sees something imitation, if he sees something not sincere, if he sees something is not done with the proper mood, although it's looking like devotional service, devotee will not be happy with that. And you should remember that. So devotees, they don't like fake, they like real. So you cannot really cheat them because you may do something big or you may do something grand, like because you see nowadays you have so many big gurus. Like, I don't want to call their names, but there's always you can see the Sadguru guy, and I met him once. And I'm not want to criticize him, but you can understand. It appeared to be this guy can answer any question. This Indian person can ask any question. And he knows something about yoga, he knows something about this. And there's so many stupid people listen every word he say. And when I was one time in one ashram in Rishikesh with one very powerful devotee who was invited there, we were there with camera and we were told hey, we can interview all these big celebrities. And we took camera and we interviewed this Sadguru on camera. And actually, he did not reveal himself deep respect to devotion and even Vedic culture. He saw that I'm in saffron dress and started basically telling me whatever you think Vedic culture is it's superficial. Maybe he was trying to say, hey, they're deeper knowledge, but my understanding is very simple. If you don't respect Krishna and Vedic culture, then what you are? You are just a cheater in the form of Vedic culture. Therefore, many people, although they appear to be a great man of wisdom, but if they don't have devotion, faith, and appreciation of Krishna and devotees, their position is just superficial. They maybe read many books, they maybe know how to talk. Therefore, you see all these gurus, they're collecting a lot of followers. But most of these gurus, when you really examine they're not speaking about devotion. They're not speaking about Krishna. They're not speaking about things which is deep. But they have many followers because they're speaking about something else. health, wealth, material position, mystic yoga, all these things attracted to people, to ignorant souls. But they're not talking about selfless service. They're not talking about the Krishna. Even if they talk about Krishna, it's not the same Krishna. It's not the Krishna of Vrindavan. It's not the Krishna which is object of their service. It's Krishna, imaginary Krishna, which object of their exploitation. That's all I just want to say. So it's important to dedicate ourselves to true devotees and to serve devotees like Madhusudan Maharaj, like Guru Maharaj, like Guru Dev, because we know these devotees are very pure in their heart. They may not do something gigantic, like don't expect devotees to do always something gigantic. Just sometimes remember what devotee has, maybe 90% in his inner world. Maybe he acting 10% or 1% outside. Mostly it's his heart, it's his mood of service, it's his appreciation. And this all could be internal. You cannot even see that. And sometimes we calculate what devotees do on external plane, but it's not exactly how you calculate devotee. Scarlet, any ideas? Give us your thoughts.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for today's class. We know everything is happened the way which Krishna wanted, and we know nothing happened without his sanction. Could it be that even though there are people who are not really 100% in the way of Krishna consciousness, but still it's beginning now, and maybe next life they are going to complete it, or they are going to do it even better? Or is it wrong to think that way?
Well, I mean, Jesus Christ said we only have one life. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, we only have one eternal life. So, people say, try not to put auspicious things for tomorrow, try to do auspicious things today. Which means you should think, yes, I can live life after life, but what is auspicious service I can achieve in this life? Which is a great motivation, because remember, it's like project, things to do. You need to plan and achieve your time, because remember, this material universe is connected with time and breath. So actually, if you read Surya Siddhanta or Bhagavat, especially Surya Siddhanta, it's explained that the universe begins from time. Time is the movement of atomic particles, and time reveals everything. And also breath. You have only a certain breath, like breath of Brahma, breath of universe, breath of human, breath of insect. So you only have certain amount of breaths. So actually the breath, the cosmic breath, is in calculation of time. Believe it or not, interesting. So think of this, you have that many breaths. That's why people say when they die, he took his last breath. That means you have given so many breaths, and that amount of breaths are calculated in time, and that time is also connect with your internal and external action. Like remember, Alexander the Great lived up to 28 years, and he conquered half the world. He couldn't even control the world. His idea was to conquer. So just like Alexander the Great, if you just conquer, you may not have enough time to develop. So you need to conquer and develop. Conquer means your external action towards Krishna consciousness. Supposedly, okay, you met with devotees, you start reading book, you develop your faith, you took initiation. That's something external you should do. You should not think, I get initiated my next life, okay, I'm planning the next 100 lives, I get connections with Guru. No, because you don't know what's going to be your next life. But at the same time, if you say, well, now I got connection with Guru and Vaishnavas, I do nothing. That's it. I already got initiated. That's not why you need to get initiated. So you're doing this because of this, because of this, because of that. Do you understand? You're looking for a connection with devotees to serve devotees. And you're looking for a way to serve devotees to increase the quality of service. And your quality of service is supposed to produce this mood of, dedication at the same time. Remember, when your dedication grows, your renunciation is come. So because when you dedicate to Krishna, like a certain people think, well, I need more money, I need more security, I need more position, I need more and more and more. Once they're going to go to Krishna consciousness, they lose necessity, even money, security, and positions, because they think, I have so much connection with Krishna, Krishna will take care of me. And so that means you have to have subjective and objective goals in this life. And I'm happy to see Ramananda Prabhu here. Ramananda Prabhu, say a few words. He's a very experienced devotee. Now he looks like Prabhupada, bald-headed. He lost all his hair. And that means his hair growing inside of himself means wisdom. He is a very auspicious devotee of Srila Gurudev, and for many years, humbly like to serve devotees. So Ramananda, say something from your heart. Unplug microphone to Ramananda Das. Yes, now we can hear you.
Dandas Avadhut Maharaj. So happy I'm allowed to join. It's always nice to have seen by you. You have so much love for Gurudev, for Mahaprabhu, for all the Vaishnavas. Your service is very exemplary. Yeah. And Gurudev love you. Gurudev glorified. He was telling you have done so many amazing things. I was lucky. I've been twice to Russia. And Gurudev came actually this house. And all the Vaishnavas came. Gurudev was so happy. We cook for 50 people, and Gurudev, Nandarani cook a nice feast, and after taking Gurudev said, Nandarani making, yeah. And Gurudev said, he's always with us. So we have to remember. And Gurudev is Gurudev's mission. He's watching. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be seen by you, Maharaj.
Yes, you see, Jai, Ramananda Prabhu Ki Jai. See, real devotee, he never think, oh, Gurudev left. Real devotee think, oh, Gurudev is also watching what I do. Whatever I do is for Gurudev. My relationship with Gurudev is eternal. It's not like I'm joining some religious organization and I have to go to the church and meet the priest and kiss his ring, and that's what I'm supposed to do, and feel like miserable, frustrated in front of some big God who will punish my sins. That's a very, materialistic thinking about Krishna. We think Gurudev as eternal associates of Krishna. And just like Ramananda Prabhu say, we always remember Guru and Vaishnavas in our life. That's why every morning we're supposed to chant that song, Bhajare Bhajari Amar Mana Atimanda. Very beautiful song. I love it. The meaning of that song, Bhajar Bina Gotina Re, Braje Bane Radha Krishna, Bhajar, very beautiful. And first it tells, think about Radha and Krishna, and then thinks about Mahaprabhu, thinks about Shivananda saints, think about all the Mahaprabhu associates. That means Leela of the Lord is always going in our heart. That's why we need to consistently hear about pastimes of Mahaprabhu and Krishna and serve Guru, and then eventually we have this attachment, anuraga. So interestingly, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he tells in his biography, he said, I was studying with Srimad-Bhagavatam, I was doing so many things, meeting Vaishnavas, and at a certain age, at a certain time, anuraga wake up in my heart. Means, yes, I was doing my spiritual studies, but at certain part of my life, I felt there's some awakening of Krishna consciousness in my heart. That's not like highest form of awakening, but it's something that anuraga means something like, I've been dating this girl, I've been meeting this person, and now I feel little love, some love to this person. It's not like the love complete. Relationship is not complete, but some feeling awake. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur very clearly explained in his autobiography that, yes, at a certain point I was excited about, religion, devotion. Of course, he's liberated soul, but he's showing us in his autobiography. First, I was excited, but then I felt something real in my heart. What about Marie? What Marie can say? She's a scholar. She teach Christian philosophy to lucky Christians, but she's a in disguise Hare Krishna practitioner, and that's unique because Christianity based on love of God, and God is Krishna. So there's some devotion in Christianity as well, of course, but Krishna Bhakti is different. So Marie, what do you feel?
I'm trying to figure out what I can say that you haven't already said. If I can go back a little bit, I did have a bit of a reflection. I remembered when we were talking about being the servant of the servant, I remembered a conversation that I was having last week, I think, with my friend Govinda. And I was talking about how I've had all this sewing seva come to me. And I was also worried about my little Tulsi Devi because she did not take well to winter arriving in Iowa. And I realized that what I liked, what was attractive to me about those particular services wasn't that I got to garden or I got to sew, even though I would have expected that because those are things that I like. But it was that I got to help my friend in his service to the Mahaprabhu merch that he has at his home. And I got to help someone in Saffron's feel a bit more comfortable by making them some clothes that were new and nice and with soft cloth that they liked. And that, I mean, Tulsi's the goddess of devotion. And so when I'm taking care of her, it's not the same as when I'm taking care of all my other plants. Some of those skills transfer, but I'm helping somebody do their service. And I think that's the part that I like about it. That's the part that's really attractive to me. I think the stuff that you said after that, I'm still sorting out. It hasn't found a home yet. It's wandering around looking for where it belongs. Right.
Well, I highly appreciate Scarlet. Go ahead. You raise your hand.
Yes, I didn't mean that you just take it easy because if it's time, it's that. I don't mean that at all. But I know some people that I try to talk to them and tell them what I have learned about the Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Gita, but the place they are in, the city they are, the country they are in, living in, it makes it 100% impossible for them to study, to go to some kind of temple, or to have these classes, what we have now in Europe, in US, in India, and so on. And what I meant that because it's very difficult for them, just that they know that there is something, what you call Krishna consciousness, and just that they know that there is something that you call Bhagavad Gita, Srimad-Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and so on. Maybe for now, that is what they get to know. Because they don't have any possibility to learn more or to know more, or there is no temple there. They live in village. There is no any temple there. There is no devotee there. But I get to talk to them because they are cousin of my children from the father side. So I get to talk to them, I get to tell them what I have learned, and so on and so on. Is it possible that this lifetime, for them, that is the only thing they should to learn about, to understand about, but next life, maybe they get to know even more? That's what I mean. Not that when
Yes.
you just take it easy, not that.
Okay,
but,
okay.
You know?
All right, thank you. Yes, it's very important. Well, remember, Krishna has mysterious way to act. There is reason you born in such a kind, like I was born in communist Russia, the land of atheism, and there's reason. And maybe there's reason that Krishna want to use me to, spread Krishna consciousness. Or there's reason that these people born in atheistic place where no sun, and there's torture and Stalin and Gulag and all this stuff because they have such karma. But Krishna is very merciful. Of course, soul is eternal. We're not basing our knowledge based on one physical life. When I said about one physical life, it's just like, task to do, like you plan. Like, let's say you wake up in the morning and you say, okay, today I want to clean my apartment. You don't say, oh, life is eternal, forever. I can clean my apartment forever, anytime, any day, auspicious. No, you say, okay, I wake up today, what do I do? Now, when you preach to others and share Krishna consciousness to others, it's all depending how quickly they receive knowledge. Like Gurudev had some disciples in Iran or Middle East or Turkey. And, again, it's depending on fortune of those people and how much they want to connect and how much they want to learn. So sometimes the place that you're born does not really mean much. You can be born in India next to temple and say, I go to temple tomorrow, what do I care? Or you can be in atheistic country. So it's all depending what the response is. So you can preach. One thing, Scarlet, you should do, you should try to preach to people. And how you preach, of course, the way they can understand. From what I understand, you have some connection with Middle East, and Middle East is very like Islamic or whatever, very conservative approach. So sometimes you cannot even say Krishna, you have to say word God, Inshallah, Alhamdulillah, and you should to take something from Sufi and some things from Quran, or Marie, she teaches Bible. So she's got all this Bible Belt Americans who Jesus the only way, and then you have to deal with these guys and understand Jesus the only way, highway to Krishna. So, and Jesus may be driver on highway to Krishna, but it's not that easy to understand for people because remember, people are in different moods of material nature. Some of them in ignorance. So they believe that religion is the highest thing, but they're in ignorance themselves. They don't understand even comparative religion. Like everybody serves the same God. God is one. That is like very difficult for people to understand. What to speak about, to understand love, bhakti, Krishna, Mother Yashoda. It's too much, for some people from one point of view. But from another point of view, you also know it's not just about intellectual idea. It's about Krishna's mercy and mercy of devotee. And, it's all about how you share your heart. And anybody can preach Krishna consciousness if you have faith in that. Like, see, that's why I want you guys to speak on this program, like you, Ramananda, Marie, Pavel, and Nitai, or Nadia, because I think you guys should like go deeper and share. Like, tell you honestly, like I didn't really want to be guru. I like to preach, but by Govinda Maharaj's grace, I kind of have to become a guru, which I'm not so qualified, but it's okay. I know I'm not qualified, but I like to inspire people. I don't really care how much qualified I am. It's not about me. It's about Krishna. But my always inspiration to see other devotees to come up and flourish, like a flower, to share, to speak, not to be shy, not to be shy, to share your heart, because this is important in our spiritual life. So if you people that you're preaching with, you share your heart with, and they feel something that you talk is not coming out of your brain, it's coming out of your heart, they will listen and appreciate you, even if they don't like what you say. You know, like, let's say if you're like a loving person and you say things I cannot understand, but I feel love there. So, okay, no problem. Maybe she's crazy. Maybe she talk about some Indian God. Why God come from India? He's Allah. Nobody can see him. But if you say, well, he's so beautiful, he's so sweet, he's an amazing, that how it can be something amazing that has no form? He has amazing spiritual form. That's why if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu easily convert Muslims. Actually, Muslims easy to convert because there already people have some faith. But you need to get that heart connection, not brain connections. Like I've seen one Muslim preacher, he speak with Christians, with Hindu, and I can understand. He's just like kind of intellectual juggler, you know. Juggler means just juggling words, juggling ideas, juggling scriptures. And this kind of people you never convert because his business is to like juggle people's words. Like, you know, Pandit, he's an intellectual. Everywhere you have like that. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeat Keshava Kashmira because he was a great Pandit. When Mahaprabhu met him, that Pandit came to Navadvip very proud. Oh, I'm coming here to win everybody. And he had that blessings of Saraswati. Then when Mahaprabhu met him, he said, oh, you're that famous guy? He said, yes, I am. And he said, are you that Nimai Pandit? Yeah, he said, yes, I am that Nimai Pandit. And he said, well, you know, I really want to meet you. And like, I want to, you know, debate with you. Mahaprabhu said, you know, I think you're very great. I'm just happy to hear from you something. All right, you tell me some glories of Mother Ganga. So immediately he started pouring slokas and poetry about Mother Ganga, just like a rap song. Oh, Mother Ganga is so fine, it's totally divine, it's coming from the lotus feet, and it gives everybody love and heat, and blah, 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 you know, like a rap singer. And he started speaking like non-stop for like 30 minutes, non-stop. And Mahaprabhu said, that sounds nice, like you're a good rap singer, but in sloka number 66, you're making some mistakes. And that Pandit could not even believe he can make one mistake. But Mahaprabhu said, well, let me learn from your mistakes and I tell you what good in your poetry. Because, you know, being critical does not mean only finding bad things. So when that Pandit heard Mahaprabhu easily showing good and bad things from his poetry, he was so much shocked, he was paralyzed. Because his ego was such that by Saraswati blessing, I can only say the truth. Yes, but even in the truth that you're saying, there are so many flaws. And due to your ego, you cannot see them. But Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord. He has no problem. He has no ego. See, that's one amazing thing about God. He's not, his ego is only for his lila, for his play. He's not really, you know, has ego. So he's very humbly showing him, yeah, this was very good. I like that, but that was mistake. And that was also mistake. And actually, you commit so many mistakes. Don't worry about them. So then the Pandit were conquered, but nighttime he saw the dream. And Saraswati Devi said, no, I did not protect you because he's my husband. He's my master. He's my Lord. How can I, in front of him, you know, yes, I give you blessing to defeat everybody in this world, but you're so fortunate you got connections with Mahaprabhu. So then we can also understand our presentations may not be perfect. We may have a numerous flaw of our speech and presentation of Krishna consciousness. We may not know all the philosophy, but when we speak from the heart, then the flow of Krishna consciousness taking us and we sharing with others. So it's very important to you share with others. And don't worry about Krishna. Time, Krishna is time. So time is eternal. This life, next life, life before, you know, we don't know. So we don't know what Krishna's will. So we don't know how he wants to liberate. That, keep this to Krishna, and you see how far you can go. See, you may help your relatives, and they may take your help, may not take your help, or your children. They may follow you, may not follow you, but see how far you can go. And that is most important, because your only life is in your hands. So sometimes, like, Marie, I can understand she's sitting alone in her house, and maybe, she can only have friends online, because in physical location may not be temple, may not be association. That's why we need to develop this spiritual association. That's why I give to Pavel charge of a club called Light Bug. Light Bug is a lighting bug that has light. We all like bugs, but some bugs has light. That means people sharing their own spiritual stories. Because it's important devotees to get together and share their own spiritual stories. Otherwise, you always listen to Guru, and Guru tells everything, and you're afraid to say something. I don't believe in that. I believe in exchange and hearing devotees and live connection. And so it's a different form. Class is good where somebody teach us, but there's also the way we're teaching people so that they learn how to communicate and how to share and how not to be afraid to learn spiritual things. That's why I'm always provoking you guys to start speaking, because I speak every day. I have no problem speaking. In fact, anything, if I speak, even if I speak stupid things, people think, oh, it's divine. Because they don't know. So I'm kind of okay. But if you devotees say something smart, you think, oh, what do I say? Maybe that was not in the book. But remember, Krishna is in the heart, give you your own realizations. So sometimes what you say, it doesn't have to be from the book. It's something that you feel and truth. So, and sometimes when gurus say something even stupid, people think, well, whatever he says, like, so divine because he's a guru, etc. That's sometimes funny. Everybody make mistakes. Everybody, even Keshava Kashmiri, who was a great Pandit, he made numerous mistakes, and Mahaprabhu just tell them, like, look, no, none of us perfect, but the mood is important, the purpose is important, the flow is important. What you say sometimes may be fully representation, half representation, if there's even 1%. So like some devotees were speaking about, one devotee, oh, he translate book. I remember that was about me. There were some people who jealous of me. And, when we translate book, they were jealous because they thought, well, we are the people who kind of represent these ideas. Who is this guy who came to America and he may be not so qualified? And they complained and said, well, this book is not very well translated. And they show some mistakes. But, Govinda Maharaj said, is that book translate good on 90% or 80% or 70%? And somebody said, yeah, maybe 80%. He said, so that maybe 80% in this book is good, but you're not pointing that. You're not pointing what good in 80%. You're only pointing flaws, but you're not pointing good things. So if you're critical, you have to criticize. Many people criticize us or ISKCON or that devotee. But criticism means to say, well, this person don't have this good, but he has that good. It's like your competitors. So when we study our competitors, let's say, some people complain about ISKCON, but I like ISKCON devotees. And here in Los Angeles, we have very good friends from ISKCON devotees, old Prabhupada people, and I see how much they're faithful. And I always preach to them. But the way I preach to them, I go sometimes to the program and they ask me to speak. And I say, I'm not going to speak here. They say, why? I said, because if I start speaking here, I will conquer your whole center. It becomes Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. So I don't want to take over Prabhupada's center. I just want you to speak, and I will be nearby, ask question or sometimes answer. But normally, when we take prasadam and association, I preach to them, and they're happy. But you see, I'm not trying to take over their center. Otherwise, people say, well, Avadhut Maharaj came, he took over ISKCON center, now he's... But from that center, already 3 people I initiate. And first people I initiate, like old people, they're about 75, 76-year-old, they're parents of one lady, Ukrainian lady. They're very old people, but they're like devotees. And I thought, these are perfect people for me, because nobody care about them. No guru need these people, because these people, basically old people, but I see they're sincere. and Radharani, I give them initiation. Also, I give initiation to crazy guy, because I think, oh, crazy guy, who cares about crazy guy? So I took whatever, as Govinda Maharaj said, remnants of Prabhupada. So anybody will say, oh, Avadhut Maharaj came to ISKCON. Yes, he came. Did he took over? No, he's not took over. Did he initiate some people? Yeah, he did not initiate some rich people or millionaire, who helping. He initiated some old people, crazy people. Then who cares about these people? But, that means it's not really interesting to possess anything in the center. So that's the mood we should be. We're not trying to possess people, politics or influence. We're trying to share with people heart on Krishna consciousness. And that is our Govinda Maharaj's mood. He did not came to possess things. He knows he can conquer our heart. And that's what Krishna's strategy is, to conquer our heart. So anybody else want to say something, Pavel?
Maharaj,
Pavel,
Marie want to say.
Okay, Marie is very good.
Yeah, I did think of a few things that might be particularly helpful to Scarlet, maybe.
Yeah.
I remembered when I was a teenager, at one point I asked my youth pastor what happened if we didn't manage to establish a relationship with God before we died. And she said, our scriptures don't say much about it, but I don't think the God I know ever gives up on anyone. So we happen to be lucky enough to have some scriptures that say something about how it works, but that's not necessary for understanding that one is loved that way, that God is not going to give up on us. And there was somebody I ran into on Facebook once who said, you can never know any truth unless you've read the Vedic scriptures. And I said, that completely ignores God, because God could use a candy wrapper to get through to you. I mean, Krishna could take the back of a cereal box and grab you with that, if it's the right time and that's what he wants. So it's possible that the people that will establish the relationship that they want with the divine through another tradition, but you can still facilitate that. And it's possible that what you tell them, they will rephrase for somebody else or for somebody else. And somewhere down the line, someone will, because of what you said, recognize Krishna when they meet him. It doesn't have to be direct. It doesn't have to be immediate. It can be. And we never know what's going on with someone's internal relationship. Just because it doesn't look the same from the outside doesn't mean that they're not progressing on a similar path. So that's where I find a lot of solace. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you, Marie. It's very good, because Marie is always working underground. Working underground means, if you're on territory of Krishna, things very clear. When you meet with devotees, you talk about love. Actually, because if you really go and analysis who God is, he must be Krishna. And it's not me, it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Krishna Samhita. It's very clearly explained the principle of beauty and rasa. Therefore, he's telling even Krishna, even if Krishna imaginary thing, I still will prove he's the highest concept of God. More than Allah, more than Jesus, in a way that, remember, Purna, Paripurna, Shakti Avesha, like Jesus being called by Shakti Avesha, avatar of Lord. He is avatar Shakti Avesh, special power has been given. So it's like God's minister, of God's representative. As good as God, maybe better. Because God may not come to your place, but Jesus will. But again, Rama is called Purna Avatar. Rama is very close to Krishna, and Sridhar Maharaj said, I like Rama more than Krishna because Rama is very straightforward. He has one wife, he's a very heroic king, he's doing everything by the book. With Krishna, it's very vague. Too many women, too many pastimes. Sometimes he runs from battlefield, sometimes he runs to battlefield, sometimes he's a driver, sometimes he's a speaker, sometimes he's a dancer. But if you go into deep analysis, you can understand, yes, he's the most free, loving God ever. He's the highest representation of God. So what Marie say, maybe somebody's not trying to connect with the higher representation of God and his spiritual progress. Maybe he's kind of like need to establish his faith in God, and that's his stage of consciousness. Because it's like Krishna say, if you, whatever you believe, I increase your faith. If you believe there's no God, I will send you the atheistic guru who will tell you there's no God. If you believe there's Jesus' only way, there'll be so many evidence for you that Jesus is the only way. If you only believe in Allah, that's, possibility that in this life you become very firm follower. And maybe you should not be disturbed by, Krishna consciousness at one point. From another point of view, it's all depending on what is Krishna's want, what is his will. So, like for instance, Marie, she preached Christian theology, but she's devotee of Krishna. How come? Somebody say, well, it's kind of duplicity. How can you, externally be Christian and internally be Hare Krishna, Hare Christian? So, but somebody say, well, I cannot give up flow of my heart, but I cannot share this with everybody because not everybody has the same flow. Not everybody have that same sweet idea that you can be, playing with Krishna, Krishna stealing butter, Krishna stealing, breaking pots, and at the same time complaining to Mother Yashoda and, speaking some abstract stuff. Let's say when Krishna is stealing yogurt, sometimes Mother Yashoda very angry and she's like trying to chase him with a stick and beat him, or and Krishna's like, stay away, because his mother very angry. And he's like, why you're not coming to me? Oh, because you're very angry, you're gonna beat me. But she say like, well, who has broken the pot? Because remember, Krishna break into the storage room, break the pot with a stick, feed monkey. It's like make a big mess. And Mother Yashoda said like, who broke the pot? And Krishna say, he say, well, everything in this world happened by the will of Lord. So Krishna's not lying, but Mother Yashoda, he's telling the truth to Mother Yashoda, but he's not telling me. He's indirectly telling, well, like the things break by the time and space and circumstance. The matter is temporarily, so what do you expect? And she say, come on, all right, so you tell me your basically spiritual stories, but who's eating the yogurt? Who stole the yogurt? And Krishna say, well, actually, in our family, do you know everybody's names? Like, name of your grandfather? She say, yes, of course. But what about name of his father? And Mother Yashoda said, I never met him, but, I know his name. And so Krishna says, so what's his name? And she say, his name is Chor Ghosh. Chor means thief. So Krishna say, if our grandfather named thief, then why are you blaming me? Like, I'm from a family of thieves. And, Ghosh means somebody who's taking care of cows. Sometimes names can have multi-meanings. So the Krishna say, so why are you blaming me if I'm in a family, like it's our family traditions almost pretty much to deal with milk. And, and actually Krishna tell the truth, because stealing prasadam is not a sin. It's not considered to be sin. Actually, food, you can have food if you're hungry, but if it's prasadam, then especially you have no reaction for that. Then Mother Yashoda tells, okay, but you're telling all these things, you're very juggling Krishna about who feed the monkeys, why, and Krishna say, well, who create the monkeys, feed the monkeys. Means the creator take care of every living entity. So what's the problem? Like, why are you blaming me for feeding the monkey? If I'm creator of this world, I have to take care of, everybody in creation with love and affection. Then, but you see Krishna telling truth indirectly. So then you can understand. He's telling, by will of Supreme, everything breaks. Our family tradition is to take care of prasadam. And the monkey is being fed by somebody who created the monkey. So basically, see, Krishna tell truth, lie by telling truth. Why he's telling lie? Because he's not telling directly, yes, mama, I'm stealing. Yes, mama, I'm taking this. Yes, it's obviously that this is him. But he's giving you very vague, abstract answer about what God is, what is creator, what is DNA, you know, blah, 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 blah. So basically, you see, well, somebody from other religions say, whatever Krishna says is truth. He's talking about creator. He's talking about, you know, all these things. But we know this is Krishna's joking by truth. So Krishna's juggling by truth. Actually, Krishna's stealing the yogurt. Krishna's breaking the pots. And Mother Yashoda knows this. I mean, but Krishna's playing with this spiritual, you know, truth just by make the Leela, the pastimes, more sweet. So I think we should finish soon, but the idea is this. Yeah, whatever we can say, the creator, the God is creator, the God is destroyer, it's all good, and some people will listen to us, but we know the most sweet feeling of our heart will be the story where Krishna is stealing the yogurt, where Krishna feeding the monkeys, because Krishna is stealing our heart, and we're worse than monkeys. Remember, monkeys in Vrindavan are very sophisticated living beings. So we're like monkeys. We have same monkey instinct. We want to grab, enjoy, you know, run, jump. But, you know, Krishna is feeding us with Krishna consciousness and prasadam because he's a creator. He loves all of us. He loves Christians. He loves Muslims. He loves this, that. But our idea is like, we want to love Krishna. That's why we are here. We want to learn how to love Krishna. Krishna loves us, no doubt, no problem. Guru loves us, no problem. But what about us loving Guru with the proper love? You know, not material love. Oh, I love my Guru because of he's Indian, or because he's smart, you know, or because he's a great man. I love him for knowledge. That's not real love. The love means service and affection and appreciation. That's why I remember most Krishna devotees develop love to Krishna and separation. It's not just about being with Krishna all the time and enjoy with Krishna. That's actually a very little part of devotee's life. Most of devotee's life is service and separation. That's Srila Guru Maharaj explaining these ideas. So love and separation, that's the highest love of Radharani. Anyway, guys, I need to do some stuff and get ready for Russian class. And I'm very happy to see Scarlet, Marie, Ramananda, Pavel, all other devotees, Nitai Prabhu. I think we should have more like a discussion or spiritual club. You know, we just recently, Vishaka visited us. And, you know, it was a lot of fun talking to Vishaka. And I felt like, you know, she's so great. She's trying so hard. But at the same time, we all need support to each other. You know, because sometimes we feel that devotees are not so kind, you know, because we'll think, oh, I'm like this, I'm like that. I don't associate with these devotees. I don't associate with that devotees. This devotee is not so, you know, by the book. That's all may be true, but, you know, sometimes we need to be more crossing over our ego and say, okay, I'm fallen soul. There are other devotees need support. And sometimes, like Marie said, or Scarlet said, yeah, sometimes some people are Christian or Muslim or they're non-believer. So you don't want to start giving them immediately glory of Krishna because that may create offense from their side. So remember, the true principle of preaching to establish friendship with people. Like in Abkhazia, there's one very famous New Afon monastery, like a Greek monastery, very, very famous. And their chief priest I made him friend. And now he's reading like Bhagavad Gita, hearing Mahabharata, coming to us. And this time he came after Vaishnava festival and he stayed with my father, Vijayaraman, Hrishikesh Maharaj. And he was so happy, he said, because when I come to Hare Krishna devotees, I feel like I'm coming back to family. But he's like a big theological, big priest, big guy with a big monastery. But, you know, he really feel like in association of devotees, he's happier. Because that is inner feeling which you develop through association of devotees, but necessarily first establish relationship, you know. Without relationship, nothing is true. So whether it's business or religion or anything, important is relationship. So happy we establish our relationship with our devotees, and it's a wonderful idea that we are trying to share this with everybody else, including our own friends. And let's finish here and let's have more discussional club. I think Nadia, can you hear me?
Yes, Maharaj.
I think sometimes if you make like an English-speaking light bug club where devotees share their things, like Marie, Scarlet, many other devotees, Ramananda, we need to hear from them because they're, you know, they have something in their heart. And it's important for devotees to reveal the heart, to share their experience and to share their practices and to share their realizations. And that's wonderful for us to know each other, to know our devotional family. Otherwise, some guru speaking to some abstract people and never really understand. So it's important for us to establish deeper relationship. So can you make that kind of a program where devotees come and share and you can invite different devotees?
Yes,
Nadia?
Maharaj, you always surprise me with your mystic powers because you always can read desires of my heart. I had idea to make interview of each devotee I met, how they met first devotee or how they met Krishna consciousness. And when you said about this project about Svitlячок, I'm so happy. Unfortunately, I missed my opportunity to do it on Villa Govinda because it's a huge crossing of huge devotees. But now, with your blessing, I will do whatever you want me to do, and with pleasure. Yes, Maharaj.
Yes,
It's interesting. And
what I believe is, why Govinda Maharaj like what I do, because I always try new, and I always see what work. So Govinda Maharaj said, truly or untruly, what Avadhut Maharaj does is giving result. Because many people complain about me, oh, Avadhut Maharaj is not doing this by the book. But remember, the principle is there and circumstances change. Like especially right now, online is big. But online people, they're not like associate like we associate in temple, you know, they not get to know each other. So it is good where they meet and they share why they came to Krishna consciousness, why they were inspired. It's very important that we give people a chance to say something. And that is very, very important. So because they can go to YouTube, listen classes all day long. There's many classes and books record. But you know, online, why people go online? We do need personal real connection. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes life of devotees are very, very inspiring. Like, for instance, you know, different devotees, they have different skills and they have different qualities and they have amazing life stories. Like Krishna saved their life, you know, like I remember Madhusudan Maharaj told his story, how he traveled to India. It was amazing. But, you know, but you need chance to reveal. That's why I like vodka. I'm just joking, because sometimes we burn the fire, we do little, you know, barbecue, we just sing songs, guitar, and we sit down together with devotees and just have human relationship. This is very important, because when devotees singing together, they eating together, they open heart together, they share stories by the fire, you know, that's kind of like human relationship. That's why I love festivals, because festivals, sometimes we do formal program, like, you know, we put up dresses and we chant and we go to arati. But, you know, a lot of friendships happen in an informal way where we get together, we prepare the festival, we work. And that's very, very important. That's how we build our team, and that's how we build our relationships. So it is important for us to communicate, to share, and that will grow our mission and deeper relationship and make us real, true friends and make us real appreciation each other and love each other without formalities. But, it takes some time to get to learn each other. And therefore, very important to do Vaishnava festivals. Like sometimes devotees go to Muktinath and Madhusudan Maharaj go to Muktimat, they go to Himalayas, or they go to Parikrama, or they go to festival, or they go to travel together. That's where we become friends. And that's where we feel we're part of community, we're part of family, we're part of group. And that's what we really need to do, to build our team. And this is very, very important. Anyway, so at this one, I'm asking your excuse to maybe stop. What would Nadia, should we stop here or we should continue?
I would like to continue, but I don't know.
Well,
Because-
it's 1.5 hour, and time passed by very quick. And I appreciate everybody's participate, and some devotees participate with no camera, and that's good. But we're here to see each other faces. Really, that's what it is. Because through face, we can feel emotion, we can feel proximity. So it would be nice if devotees participate with camera if they can. And I know some devotees are very shy because they don't speak English, but they like to participate in this. We need to have more English-speaking programs because we have plenty of Russian-speaking programs, but both. I think it's very important for devotees to get and share. Also, I think, we need, if we have created that culture at a certain time, we have a club and certain devotees come up. And what I believe is, each time we have 5-6 devotees say something, 5-10 minutes, it doesn't have to be long. Maybe big devotee can say 10-15 minutes, but I think like the most important for me, let's say, is not to just have dialogue, is to give people a chance to participate and reveal themselves. And that's today my goal was achieved. Otherwise, I'm just like a talking head, like I speak monologue, and I don't even know if what I speak make any sense or does connect to people, etc. So with all love and devotion, I want to give my Dandavat Pranam to our Guru Varga, our teachers, to all the devotees that participate, to all devotees who organize this. Very important to take responsibility and organize things. So Nadia, I want to thank you specifically for taking charge, and Narayani organized. Hey, Chintamani, my crazy friend. I didn't know you hiding. I had Vishaka visiting us. Hello. And we drink some Russian vodka with Vishaka. Now we're friends. But when Vishaka came to me, she said, "How can I be Russian?" I said, "Drink 1 bottle of Russian vodka with me and you become Russian." And after that, we sing some Russian military songs, and she was very happy. Anyway, it's a joke. I mean, the reality is we spent all day. She came with some devotees. At lunch, we cooked together, and we spent like 8 hours together. We had many jokes, many fun, and she was very happy.
Yeah, Maharaj, I ditching out on my California life. I decided to stay here in Europe and travel to Portugal with Nadia Sundari, and I'm just playing hooky from my life back in the States, and I'm having such a good time. I don't know when I'm leaving.
Well, one thing I can tell you, Nadia is a very strong girl, and Narayan is a very strong girl. My idea was to open some center in Portugal because it's near Boom. It's the most musical festival where we can preach like crazy. And I was going to talk to Nadia about some projects, actually. Nadia, if you can call me later. See, because we have domes, which everybody loves. And when I came to Italy, I started this, but Italian devotees too busy with their temple. Because the real idea is we can take domes all over the musical festivals, Boom, Azoro, all the great people, and there's so many people want Krishna consciousness. Of course, it's all music and drugs, but the point is this: drugs are. I explained to Vishaka, drugs are the key, but it's not the door. So a lot of young people coming to experience music and drugs, but really they're looking for Krishna. And these are the best ways to catch European young people that looking for something. But we need somebody like Nadia, because she's very skilled, to learn how to build domes. And we have Samskara, we have Mystic Universe, we have Bhagavad Gita. Now we have full Vedic planetarium domes. So my idea was like, if we can start talking to festivals and booking dome all over the Europe, we can have real big European preaching. And my idea was to make a base camp in Portugal, because all these young people, they can come to Portugal, let's say, to farm and volunteer. So my idea was like to buy the farm, to buy a monastery in Portugal and make like little commune. Because see, if you bring all these crazy people to like Italy, it's too much, but somebody like Chintamani, like a crazy people, like I'm crazy, you crazy, we can do crazy stuff. And I believe we can get many young, talented people. And also we have many Ukrainian devotees that now spread out, but they can get together in one place, let's say in Portugal, but we need a leader like Sonarayani, Nadia, and if we get like witch group, lady group, I fully believe in female energy, like Chaitanya Saraswat Mat witches. Witch means somebody who can create miracle. Then we can do some miracle. So Nadia, you call me later, maybe today or whatever, we can talk about this, because I thought about all these projects and I'm looking for like qualified people who can start preaching. And Portugal is amazing. See, eventually when we establish ourselves, we can create a big retreat center. And but we have to like think how to maintain this. Remember, one of the important things is people want to get away from drugs. They want to come and volunteer. And so this could be like one of the programs of our center, like a pure living, vegetarianism, organic. And that can give us finances, but we need to think all these things and have like therapeutical sound healing, because it's just simply Hare Krishna as religion, I don't think we can survive. But if we combine our places, yoga, retreat center, purification place, pure mind consciousness, that we can, really hit the people's heart. Anyway, my Dandavat Pranam, these are ideas that I share with you. If anybody wants to discuss them later, we will. Right now, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Dandavats.